Angel, this is a new one for you. You're like, I know you've been on podcasts a few times, but like you're in the midst of like actual journalism here. This is like Chris
Real
is a serious.
reporting.
We're not here just like talking about like Chris is going to London Film Festival. Chris, when does that start?
In about 2 weeks.
I'm so
So,
jealous.
so that he's like a serious journalist. Are you covering for any publication?
Yeah, for a few different places.
A few different places.
I don't
Love
know all
that.
of them yet, so I need to try and work that out.
So Angel, like, I'm sorry that
Mind you,
normally you're here.
I
you're
was
here to
scrambling
shit
for
with
TIFF
me.
tickets.
Oh, I didn't even bother.
There's no point. The price is
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and volunteer next year.
Yeah, that's a good way of actually getting tickets. Yeah. Chris, what is any big one you're looking forward to?
Sentimental Value. I'm looking forward to that one. The Secret Agent, and I'm seeing The Mastermind this Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that one as well.
I don't know The Mastermind. What is that?
It's a Josh O'Connor art heist one. Kelly Reichardt.
Oh,
so the first,
okay.
first cow, and what else has she directed? Showing Up. I think those are her too.
Yeah. I'm so bad. I still haven't seen La Chimera, which I do need
Me
to see.
either.
Really good as well.
Like when you mentioned Joshua, it just reminded me of Knives
He's got
Out.
3 films at the fest this year. He's got Knives Out, History of Sound, and this other one.
Yeah, I guess it's his time.
It's his time.
Tis the
Busy
season
guy.
of the rat.
I mean, what?
I know you've seen those Rat Boy memes.
I mean, I am not calling Josh O'Connor a rat on this podcast.
He doesn't. This is not me saying he looks like one. Okay, I don't agree.
I mean,
I'm just following into the media. Thank you.
I think he loves Ratatouille, doesn't he? So like he's kind of like
that's another big thing because he kind of looks like the chef, but we move aside from that.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the introduction I wrote, and I think I wrote it down forgetting that I shout my introductions. And I mean, when we get there, it will make sense to you guys. But I'm in a hired space, and there are people around me, so I will not be shouting my introduction today because it will make sense as we go on. So we're talking about Slow Horses.
So excited.
I need like a verbal, I need a yes. This is a podcast of
very
consent.
excited.
I need you guys to say yes. Okay, good.
Yes.
Jeez, wow, okay. Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. And welcome to Slough House. Yes, we are back. I mean, normally it's like, we're back after 2 years, but we're back after a year to talk about Slow Horses Season 5. The most reliable, the third most reliable, no, actually the most reliable show on TV. Up there with like Hacks and The Bear. Like it's just every year, it's here. So I talk about Season 5 of Slow Horses, which just started, another 6 episodes. And joining me to discuss the return of back-to-back Emmy winner. It's 1 back-to-back years. To be clear, they don't pay for sex. Sex pays for them. It's Chris and Angel. Like, you see why I couldn't shout it? I see it. Like, I don't want my neighbors to be like, what is he doing? Like, what? How are you guys doing? First time
Really
for this
good, thank you.
collaboration.
Yeah, excited.
Fabulous. Very excited to get into it. Like you said, no Roddy over here.
Roddy ho. Chris, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to use your right hand to pick up your glass and bring it in front of the screen.
It's not a beer, don't worry. It's a non-alcoholic. The non-alcoholic beer.
Okay.
Ooh, is it Biro?
No, non-alcoholic beer. I'm trying to think what brand it is. What brand is that? It's a
Tom Holland.
It's a Heineken or Birra Moretti one. Oh yeah, it's not Tom Holland's one. Maybe it should be in future.
I thought you were just going to go hardcore and be like, it's Scotch. I thought you were going full Jackson Lamb cosplay. That's what I was like. I'm here for it. Like,
that would be so top tier.
Maybe next time I should get a Talisker and then go full lamb.
He's on his standish
got holes
shit.
in my socks.
I have thoughts about standish and alcohol. We'll get there. I have thoughts. For new listeners to the podcast, this is the Poker for Jar podcast. We are currently covering Slow Horses and Gen V, so check those out. We are gearing towards, hopefully, coverage of Pluribus in the fall. We're always there when Vince Gilligan is there. And if you're not new, then you probably know Chris from seasons 3 and 4 Slow Horses coverage. But if you are new, Chris, please let the listeners know where they can read you. You're also reviewing the entire season of Slow Horses, and you've read all the books.
I've read all the main books, and I think I'm one shy of his like non-slow horses, but it's still MI5 books. So there's one about J.K. Coe, which I haven't read, called Nobody Walks, I think.
Is it a prequel?
Yes, it's about him before he was in Slough House.
So we know how he became what he is.
Yeah, I think so. It's about him when he was like a psychoanalyst or whatever his role was at the park before he was a slow horse. Yeah, I'll be reviewing the whole thing for Tech Advisor and then weekly for Flickering Myth. So you can find my stuff at both of those, and then I do bits for IGN and Radio Times as well.
I mean, it's right there. So we will have his handle here. You can find him on all platforms and read all his work. Like I said, he's our resident Slow Horses expert. So, he's our resident McCarran expert. So please go read him. Angel, you've been on the podcast a few times. Welcome back. Most recently for Bad Sisters. How are you doing? It's been a year, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a year, and shout out to TV for holding me down this year. I've been consuming a lot, which is what led to me finally binging Slow Horses.
Let's talk about that. So you watched 4 seasons over the summer?
Over the summer is even a stretch. I think it took me like 3 days. I'm not even gonna lie. It was one of those periods of I just wasn't sleeping, and it's quick, short episodes, like short seasons. You know what I mean? So I got through it pretty quickly. I love a good detective show. Give me any good detective show, and I'm gonna be down for it. The only reason I think at the time when I first started Slow Horses, I was just like, oh, this is gonna require my attention. Like, this isn't a cop show, so I wasn't ready at the time, So now I was really ready to get into the meat, and I love it. Like, I love good detectives. I love odd characters and not necessarily good characters, speaking on Lamb, Roddy, just questionable, even Diana. Like, I think one of my favorite things going into each new season of Slow Horses was, what hairstyle is Diana Taverner going to give us this season? Like, what new Conti Bob look like every season? I'm just like, wow, you look fabulous, girl. Like, keep it going. So I really looked forward to that. And obviously, like, I appreciate when a show isn't afraid to have impactful deaths. I think straight off the bat, when Sydney died, I was like, mind you, I'm coming off watching Game of Thrones.
Did she die? I mean, I go into every season waiting for her return. Chris is keeping his mouth shut.
My lips are firmly sealed on this one.
Okay, T. Guys, I didn't even expect that there's a possibility she could be alive, because it gagged me so much when she died. I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, we just what's going on here? So I was like, oh, this is a serious show. Okay, locked in.
I would tell you this, that she's the biggest reason why I even consider being Team Black on House of the Dragon, because I watched Slow Horses before House of the Dragon, so I was like fully on that wavelength. I think I was Slow Horses watch Sound of Metal, so I was like, whatever she wants to do, I'll do. And obviously, unfortunately, she's the wrong family on House of the Dragon. But I'm like, love her now. Yeah.
He's incredible.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Slow Horses, obviously, but you mentioned something, Angel. You mentioned loving a detective show. Chris is our resident McCarran expert. I should mention right now, before I forget, that there is going to be another adaptation from Apple TV of a McCarran book starring 2 women that I think I could probably run through a wall for, just because of like everything they act in. Emma Thompson and Ruth Wilson. Those are like,
what a double act.
Yeah.
What a double act indeed. So, Chris, have you read Down Cemetery Road?
I've read the first 2 of these, but I get the impression they'll be quite different. So these are more detective-y. Emma Thompson's a private eye called, what's she called, Zoe Bonn, and Ruth Wilson is like someone else who lives in Oxford, and there's this a child goes missing, and she kind of takes it on herself to investigate it. But Emma Thompson's character in the first book is actually only in it like for 50 pages. It's her ex-husband who's the main part, so I think they'll have written him out and give her that role.
Oh, wow, okay.
because you can't have Emma Thompson only be in something for like 2
Yeah.
episodes of 6.
Yeah, like what
So
a
I think that,
waste.
and this was written like 20 years ago. So obviously they saw that they'd written these books and probably thought, oh, Slow Horses, we can adapt these. So yeah, I don't personally think these books are as good, but because he was obviously finding his feet as a writer. But
Mhm.
you know, the team behind Slow Horses is doing it, so it should
Yeah.
hopefully have that kind of flavour.
And it's a show that if you have Emma Thompson and Rich Wilson leading it, like no matter how bad you're gonna be, you're not gonna be that bad. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some other like great people lower on the cast as well. Adil
Yeah, I
Akhtar,
mean
who's
it's
always
like
great, Darren Boyd. So
mhm.
yeah, it'll be worth watching for sure.
Yeah. And I think that comes out towards the end of this Slow Horses run, maybe like the
Mhm.
final week or something. So on Apple TV. We probably won't cover that weekly.
It's a bit longer than Slow Horses. It's got 8 episodes, whereas obviously Slow
Oh,
Horses
okay.
has I think 6. So yeah,
6. Yeah.
Oh, love. Can't
So
wait for that.
we won't cover that weekly, but I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point this year. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about Slow Horses. Angel mentioned that she obviously binged it, and then she thought she was interested in covering this. What you've mentioned the things that you kind of like on the surface of it, like it's a detective show, it has good characters. Is there anything else about this show that really kind of like hooked you when you finished? You're like, that was different from what I normally watch.
Yeah, I think it's really just how different each and every character is. But at the end of the day, they're all kind of determined to prove something. Like, for example, River is basically the Ethan Hunt of the whole team. You know what I'm saying? But he's the
Yeah,
Ethan Hunt who doesn't quite get it. I just don't know how else to put it, right? You know, every time they do a running montage of him, that's exactly what I think. I think this man thinks he's Ethan Hunt. Like, damn. And he's a really, really good detective, but also he has his own familial issues, you know, like his
does he?
grandfather being very super important. Let's start there. Super important, you know, in the agency adds to his need to prove himself like that, you know, I'm just as good. Also, you know, now finding out that his dad is some evil person, it's actually like it makes it even worse. It's just like, damn, like I'm trying to prove myself that, you know, like, you know, if my daddy was here, be proud of me. And then, you know, you see your daddy and he's like, actually kind of hate your guts.
Yeah,
Let's just not. So I think, you know, right now he's kind of lost, but watching him go through that journey of, you know, trying to be knight in shining armor and realizing, man, this is not going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be, but still doggedly determined to be a good person. Love seeing that. And also love seeing it in contrast to the fact that Lamb is terribly unhelpful. Like, this is actually like, this is your boss. And he's literally like, guys, stop doing shit. Like, I actually don't want you to pick up stuff. Stop it. Like, I don't know why you're doing this. They're paying us to sit down. Let's sit down. Like, why are you trying to engage and do shit? And then you have Ho, useless. And honestly, quite frankly, if I had to talk to him day on day as a coworker, I just would quit. I will quit. I will quit.
gonna be a
So
big
you have
whole
all these
season.
obstacles.
Yeah,
And it's I'm not even you never even get let's not even get into that. But it's just like, you know, despite all these obstacles in Slough House, you have maybe 2 good detectives. You have River, you have Louisa, and you have everybody else dealing with their bullshit. And despite all this shit going, they somehow still seem to stumble into saving the world. You know, it's just
Mhm.
like, try as they might, they do. Okay? It might not look pretty, it might not even make sense, but they get the job done. And I
Get the
just
job
really like
done.
that because I feel like people in their position, like, you know, even in fake TV, it would be easy to just give up and just be useless like Lamb wants them to be and just be like, there's no point in giving your energy for this. I know you want to prove something, but you're not proving it here, but still being like, no, I am going to prove it here. And not only just I am going to prove it, but it's like, we still have lives to save. Like, we can't sit on our asses and just like fuck off, you know? So it's very interesting. I feel like most detective or police shows I watch are they're geared towards solving. You know,
Mhm.
like that's their philosophy. And in Slow House, like in Slow Horses, that's not their philosophy. It's not solving. It's I actually don't know what I would call it, but it's definitely not solving the crime. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So yeah,
you love
unique.
you have an underdog. Love that for you.
That's actually what I wrote in my notes. I love underdogs. Oh my god, don't I love it?
Um, do you have this is to both of you? Do you have rankings of the seasons, the 4 seasons so
Ooh.
far?
I'd like
I
to
mean,
hear Chris. You know,
I can go
Yeah.
with mine. Let go with mine. What you guys are thinking? Mine is quite easy for me.
Mhm.
It's 3-1-4-2. So the third season with Shopper Jirisu is my best season. Then season 1, then season 4, and then season 2. And I've thought about it a lot, and I think I know why. But I want to hear you guys like thoughts. So if you guys have
I
rankings,
might go 4-3-1-2.
Oh, you liked? Oh,
Oh.
4 was your best? That's interesting.
I really liked 4. Yeah, I've seen a few people saying they didn't like it as much.
4 is the
but
most divisive, yes.
yeah, I guess it's
Yes.
got the most action, which I did like, but I feel like it had the kind of balance of everything I like about the show. 1 is great because it's kind of an introduction, and 3 is also great. I think 2, the issue for me is that they changed quite a lot from the book. So I still liked it. Like none of it's bad. But I
Yeah,
think that
that's the
was
thing about
COVID.
this show. Like, I can do these rankings because, like, the floor is so high. Like, if I
No,
say 2 is my
Mhm.
worst, it's better than most things on
but
TV. So, yeah.
2, they
Yeah.
do change quite a lot. So they, the village they go to in 2, the
Yes.
whole village are like Russian sleeper agents in the book.
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah.
like 2 people. And then also David Cartwright doesn't kill anyone in the book. Because there's a scene where they go to River's house and then David Cartwright shoots. So that doesn't happen in the book
Yeah.
either.
The
Yeah.
fib.
So I was like, well, those are odd changes.
Well, I think the Cartwright one was to show him still competent ahead
yeah,
of, like,
for
going
sure.
into 3 and then going into 4. I think they were always kind of building towards this big thing in season 4. So they were to show that, like,
yeah, where he.
And he
Yeah.
has such a big role in 4. I think it makes sense to like build his
Yeah.
role up a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I love 4 a lot. I mean, it's probably a toss up between 3 and 4. So, flip a coin, it might change day to day.
Yeah.
But
So
those 2 for me,
4, 3, 2, 1? No, 1, 2?
4, 3, 1, 2, I think. Yeah.
4-1. Yeah,
The
4
4,
3
3,
1
1,
2.
2. Angel,
Yeah, that's
what's
it.
your ranking? You binge everything. Is it all one
My
blow to you?
yeah, exactly. It's I had to really think about that, and it switched quite a bit because I watched it a couple of weeks ago, so I actually had to look at the plots again. But for me, it was actually 1 4 3 2. It's funny that we all can agree that 2
Yeah, I think
is probably like
2 is the
the least
worst.
strongest
Yeah.
season of the show. Also, I was just like, why kill Min? What he do? Anyways, 1 4 3 2. I really enjoyed. I would say 1 because, like you said, it's a good intro into the show, and that's really what got me ginger to binge the whole thing. So like, I really enjoyed season 1 as a whole. Very much set up season, but did set up well. 4, I really enjoyed season 4 as well. Like it kind of went like this for me. I was watching season 1, I was like, amazing. Season 2, I was like, girl, what's going on? Season 3, I was like, okay, we're getting back into things. Now season 4, I was like, yeah, we're back, we're real back. And for me, season 3, like, probably would have been higher, but like, I don't know. I think the whole plot of Catherine and Charles really just irritated me. I don't know how else to put it. It just genuinely irritated me. Like, every time Lam is like not telling her, but then almost tells her, and just that whole thing. I was just like, to me, it just felt a little too obvious for it to be like a major plot point in the season. So I found myself checking out a lot every single time Catherine and they start talking about Charles. I'm like, sure. Anyways, bye. I was like, bye. So that's why season 3 is where it is, and then season 2, it felt a bit not disconnected completely, but just felt, I don't know. I just think I couldn't connect to season 2 as much as I'd like. Like, I think the cicadas storyline it just didn't feel as, it didn't have that oomph for me,
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think for most of us who started watching the show at the start, seasons 1 and 2 came out in the same year, which was like, it was like, I think
in the
April.
same year?
Yeah, I think it was like
one
April and December. That was when we were like, oh,
one
these
was
guys
June,
are
I
serious.
think, or
Yeah, it was like, both came
was
out in
like
2022. So
April, May, and then December.
Yeah, and then
the second
December,
one, yeah.
So, like I said, I've been thinking a lot. I'm going to use this to now get into the new season and the premiere. Some things I think I've realized I like that make seasons better for me is, 1, when the characters of Slough House are not unnecessarily separated. Think about 2. You have River like in that village alone for most of the season, and everybody else is kind of on somewhere else. And then 2, I really like it when the story focuses on them and not like some larger plots. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, if you think about 2 again, it's this big Russian thing. Obviously, Lam is involved and all that stuff, but like 3 is like they're bang in the middle. Like, there isn't some, like, they're bang in the middle. 4 is like his River's dad. 1 is like, again, trying to prove something. So I like it, those 2 things, which makes me really excited for this season, because I think both things are true for this season, and I'm very excited. This premiere is titled Bad Dates. It is written by show creator Will Smith, who, this is his final season as the showrunner of the
He's
show.
leaving us, yeah.
After season 5, yes. So he's done 5 seasons, which I think, again, would go into, because I think he's probably gonna, obviously he's not wrapping up the show because we know there's at least 2 more seasons, but I'm sure he's written it in a way where his arc comes to like a conclusion, if that makes sense. So I'm sure a lot of things that he's been writing will probably kind of come to fruition in this season. And it's actually by Saul Medstein, sorry. Some surprising things I found about this season as I was watching it, and we can use this to talk about the episode before touching on some major beats. I think it's the most closely connected season to the previous season. Like, not only is Slough House still in like active renovations from the season 4 finale, but they're like directly addressing the events of the season 4 finale, which I don't think they'd ever do. Like this is normally it was like, well, like, oh, how much time has passed? Is it a year? Is it 2 weeks? Well, like, this is like
you're
very,
vibing.
this is very clearly like immediate aftermath. So I was like, oh, this is again interesting. Maybe it goes to the whole thing of this is Will Smith's final season. Also, you can also feel the emotional fallout from the past season, right? Like, a lot of people are going through PTSD from the past season, and I think it plays a big role in this premiere. What are you guys' thoughts on this premiere, the start of Slow Horses season 5? Obviously, Chris, you know where the story is largely going. So how do you feel now that I've started this season?
I think this show it had done a great job balancing the book tone, but there are a few changes here because like Louise is obviously key in this episode, but like her role I think is then it's spread around. Everyone's role is kind of slightly different in this one. So I think what you were saying about River was very much the focus the last series, and so was his granddad. Whereas this series feels like everyone's the main character. Rather than just being River or just Lamb, which I think I liked about this series and this episode, that we kind of follow everyone equally. Well, I guess Roddy Ho maybe is like the most central to the storyline, but like I don't think he has more screen time than anyone else. But yeah, I think it's a really good
always going to be
way to start the series.
The River show, right? Because it's like there's a reason why. Look at the cast list is like Gary Oldman, Jack Lowden, and Kristen Scott. Like, it's always going to be, River is always going to be the main character, but then other people are going to be quite elevated. And I think, to your point, with what is clearly going on with Shelley, and also what Louisa is doing, like, you can't have those two things in the premiere and not have the characters be important. So I think you're right. It's going to be, again, more of an ensemble piece, which I enjoy, obviously.
Yeah, I think I like that, and they're all such interesting characters, and I think the kind of depiction of PTSD for both River and Shirley is really good as well. Like, River's obviously scarred by his dad and his brothers, basically, that he didn't know about being psychos, and I guess Louisa actually has the most extreme PTSD because she's still kind of grieving men, which has probably not been that long in the show. I don't know how long in real time that would have been, but also then what's happened to Marcus and other people as well, and Sid obviously. So it's just kind of like casualty after casualty, and they've not had time to process it.
Yeah, and someone like Louisa's case, even if she's had the time, she hasn't really wanted to process it. So this is kind of like really the first time she's grasping that.
Giving
Angel?
herself, yeah.
Thoughts on
honestly, yeah. They came out the gate swinging for me, quite frankly. Like, other than the characters I love, I'm always very interested in the plot of the season. And you're giving me a mass shooter who gets sniped. Yeah, let's talk. Don't even know what's happening, but I'm immediately locked in. And I think that's it. Like, that really reminded me why I love the show. And then it, like, transitioning into the chaos. Like you said, this is the closest related season to the previous one because everybody's really still reeling. Like, mind you, I just watched it and, they're talking about Marcus's death. I'm like, Marcus died? I'm like, oh my God, he died. Oh my God. Because, first few minutes, I was like, wait, where's Marcus? Where's Marcus? I'm like, damn, he did. I was like, child, that is so true. And I think it really killed me seeing how they're all processing that. I would say maybe not all, maybe just Shirley. How Shirley's processing that, in respect to the rest of the team. And I really like it when they're all together too. So I feel like in this episode, they really had lots of scenes where they had to interact, they had to work with each other, even just to validate what Shirley's thinking, just to make sure they're safe, etc. type of situation.
Yeah.
I think it was actually a surprise for me that my homegirl, who seems to be the most, like you said,
Louisa.
simultaneously distraught and most balanced, on the
Mhm.
team.
Mhm.
It really shocked me that, not shocked because honestly, fair enough. Like, it's good to see her choosing herself. She deserves that, but also kind of sad because I'm like, damn, oh girl, you're the hottest on the
Yeah.
team, as Ho put it. You know?
Yeah.
I wonder if they wrote in her having a break because Rosalind wasn't
Mhm.
available. So
Possibly.
she's only in this episode.
Oh wow.
So I wonder if there's
she's not in the rest of the
scheduling
season?
commitment there. She's not in the rest of the series, no. Which I don't think is a
Oh.
spoiler.
No,
Because
because she literally says she's sick.
Yeah.
She's not coming back.
Yeah.
So
But she's been filming season 6 or 7. So I think because she doesn't have a break in the book. Like she's so some of the stuff that happens later, that's what I mean about them spreading it around.
Oh.
So the stuff
That
still happens,
that
but it doesn't
surprised me,
happen to
actually.
her. Yeah.
I did
I was
not
shocked.
She was in that Netflix show recently, the Harlan Cohen one.
Mhm.
And I think she's done some stage work. So I'm guessing Rosalind just couldn't film the whole block.
Just you saying that she's not the rest of the season has surprised me because I was pretty sure she was going to appear again. So that's actually quite interesting that she's not the rest of the season. Interesting. Okay. So there isn't much to say about the plot so far this episode. We'll touch on it in a second. Sorry, I'm still just processing the fact that we're losing our best agent.
Sorry, I've dropped it.
But
literally, I was actually gagged.
I've dropped a bomb. Sorry.
Yeah, you actually have. I mean, it's better than watching the whole season waiting for Louisa to come back. Yeah, you did. Hopefully that's not a spoiler.
Every episode, like, oh my god, is this the one?
Yeah, no, hopefully that's not a spoiler for anyone. I don't think it should be because Anyway, but on the shooter,
but I had seen people saying she's not in the marketing much, and like that's why because that
makes sense. On the shooter, one of my favorite things is when I'm watching a show and I think of like, oh, this could be a cool thing that happens, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucked up for thinking this, and then the show does it, and I'm like, oh, thank you for validating me. It happened in industry. I'm not going to spoil anything. But then when the sniper took out the mass shooter here, I almost did a fist bump because I was just like, it'd be so cool if they kill him here. Because I'm just like, they've sent him out to go do this kill and just kill him because then there's no evidence. And then they just did it. I was like, yes, I am fucked up, but it's for a good reason. This is why I grew up on David Fincher films. Let's talk about River and Louisa, since apparently it's her only appearance this season.
Just in case you couldn't hear it, that was a deep ass Negro sigh.
Yeah. As opposed to other kinds of sighs.
I just wanted to say it's the deepest.
So this is probably the most emotionally potent relationship on the show, I believe. Maybe excluding River and his grandfather.
And I guess Shirley and Marcus. But obviously,
I never really bought into the Shirley and Marcus relationship, I'm being honest. I was never really fully on board that as much as like any other relationship on the show. But even that being said, I still think even the biggest Shirley and Marcus defenders or whatever, I would still put like River and Louisa quite high up.
Oh, so I went back to rewatch.
I went back to rewatch a couple of River and Louisa scenes. Season 3, towards the end, when they're in the car, when River is kind of like comforting her and telling her like she should open up and things like that, and she's basically like open up for what, like she doesn't want to process her grief, right?
There's nothing to do.
And then start of season 4 in the bar, River was trying to confide in her about his grandfather's illness, and then funny enough, in that scene, she's the one who thinks that there's a romantic relationship, a romantic approach going on, and obviously that's flipped here. And it is, those 3 scenes are kind of an arc, because in every one of those scenes, there's the idea that like, should we step away? Is there more to life than this job? Right. And then obviously it comes to fruition in this episode where she's just like, I do need to take a break. I do need to kind of like figure some shit out. I need to be with normal people. And then River tries to kiss her. Look, in his defense, not to be here defending the man, but in his defense, like, I can see how he would make that mistake. She wasn't necessarily entirely very clear. I mean, Angel, you can push back. I'm just saying, in his defense, he wasn't.
She wasn't. You remember what she said right after? She said, a woman's opening up to you about her feelings and you think the answer is to kiss her.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. He was wrong. But in his defense, like, her actions are not entirely black and white. Like, there's a way
I
she
would
did this.
say, in her defense,
No, she doesn't.
River's
You don't have to
emotions are
defend her.
not in. They're not. I'm defending her because you're saying in his defense. I have to put in her defense.
I think she's in the right. I think she's in the
Rivers
right. I think he's in the wrong.
only
I just don't
processing.
think.
He's definitely in the wrong, but he's only
Yeah.
processing like this because he's still processing what's going on with him.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't in his
Yeah.
right mind right now. Like, you even tell from his responses, just like, this is not somebody who's okay, like, entirely
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. He's
Like,
not
this is somebody doing their best.
Yeah, he's not. And
Not
it's also funny when you go back and watch that scene in the bar last season where he's like, "Oh, you thought I was trying." Like, it's funny to him. Like,
Yeah.
because that's not what he would do naturally. I think, like you said, in that moment, his head is not here, but at the same time,
But
he's misreading
that
signs and all of that
moment,
stuff.
he could have started considering it. It's like, oh, is that a Louisa and me situation? But so much goes on with River, he doesn't have time to contend with romance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it probably bleeped. And now she's leaving. He's probably thinking, oh my God, like, damn, like, we've never, like, oh my God, no, she'll be back soon.
So you
anyways, we'll be fine. And she's like,
you're defending his choices because there is a defense.
I'm not defending. I'm just seeing how he got there. Then he chose to act on that delusion.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, these are thoughts versus
I think
what's happening in real time.
It's not correct, but it can be explained.
I can understand how he got here.
So obviously,
But he's
Chris,
a grown man.
he is. Chris, you've given kind of like the meta explanation for why Louisa is probably leaving the season, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully she's coming back. But like, what in terms of the show itself, how does that decision work for you, and what do you think about it?
I think it works well. I think it's probably a difficult decision for Will Smith and the writers to basically, she has a big role in this episode, but basically to lose a main character for most of the series, which they obviously wouldn't have chosen to do. But I think they make the best out of the situation. I think in this episode, given her the whole leaving party, which I think is quite well handled, when he's like, "Come on, I've put on a spread. It's a banquet." That was quite funny. And then the whole interplay
really
between that sequence of them on the bridge is really good because there is some ambiguity to it, And I think she kind of saying one thing, he's interpreted it differently, and they both play it really well. I think the chemistry between the two of them is really good.
Really good.
There's some great banter there. And you can kind of believe them as being like genuine mates as well, because I think the whole cast obviously get on really well. You can see that just from their interactions together.
Yeah, I mean they're with each other like half the year, to be honest. Like the way the shooting schedule is, like if they were not friends, I don't think it would work. But speaking of chemistry,
I think they're already shooting season 7, or they've started thinking about shooting season 7. So they're always shooting a series or two ahead of the one that's airing.
Exactly. I remember Will Smith saying a couple of seasons back that during his run, at every point there were usually 3 things going on. They were writing a season, shooting another season, and editing a 3rd season. So that's kind of how we always. So like think about right now, it would be editing 5, shooting 6, writing 7, all kind of happening around the same time. That's kind of how they've been able to maintain this release schedule over the past 4 years.
Already got ideas for seasons 8 and 9 as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, Gary Oldman has been very clear that he will continue doing as much as Apple wants him to do it, that he's not really going to do much acting anymore, apart from the occasional cameo in a Nolan film. Yeah, so we mentioned chemistry between the cast, Chris, and it leads me to River and Shelley. I mentioned earlier how I hate when the characters are unnecessarily spread apart, because I believe there are so many exciting possible combinations. Like, I think River and Shelley have shared one scene in the past 3 seasons, like
that's
together.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And then you throw them together and it immediately makes sense because, again, they're in a workplace. You believe that they shared time together, and like the chemistry is so I like the fact that you can always kind of throw in these new combinations and create new kinds of chemistry and magic and things like that. And River and Shelley have 2 scenes that I think are impeccable. Or maybe 3 scenes. The first one is the party where River says the worst thing a man can say to a woman like Shelley, and I was like, Jesus Christ, River.
And she's like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
You want her to shoot you? Thank God she doesn't have a gun.
Thank God she didn't have lamb's gun. I was like, River, why would you say that? And then it leads us to the club scene in which
so good. So good.
First of all, he apologizes, and then we'll talk about everything else in between in a second. Yes, well, then he goes to the bathroom, and they have this back and forth. Chris, you basically had an orgasm just now thinking about this scene. So, like, do you want to talk about like the scene? Like, yeah,
It's more just the reaction between the two of them. She's like, "Oh, you're not that good looking," or something, and then because she was like, "Hoes dancing with a girl way out of your league," and then he's kind of like,
yeah.
"Is this real? Did someone spike my
he's like,
drink?"
no, my
And
drink
then,
is spiked.
yeah, so that whole sequence is great fun, and then obviously the sequence with them kind of bantering in the bathroom as well. When she kind of pretends that it's one thing, she's like, "Go away, I gotcha."
Yeah.
I was going to do a line.
Do we think she did a line?
Was it disrupted? Like, do we actually see it?
No, we don't see it.
No, I think she was being honest. Yeah,
Or you think what she told River was true?
I think she was
Does
being
she?
honest. Yeah,
Oh, that's very generous.
Because
We'll
they
see.
kind of downplayed her drug habit in like season 2, but then in season 3 and 4, she's
It's
like,
like-
it's quite a big part of the show. Whereas I seem to remember one of the reasons for her ending up in Slough House in the book was because of her drug habit.
Yeah,
So
I
then they
think
kind of
it is.
initially
I think they
get rid of it, and
mentioned that
then
again in the show.
They kind of
that's the
allude
reason.
to it that being the
Yeah.
reason once we find
And in
out about her
4
drug habits. Like
In 4, I think
yeah.
she's sober. I think Marcus is like keeping her sober in 4.
but also her roles got bigger. Like, you know, she's quite
Yeah.
a small part in 2, and then gets bigger with each series.
Yeah.
So
I just want to mention something before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
The scene in the party after they do their whole banter about, you know, River not being too attractive, and she thinks she sees a knife, and she jumps off the balcony. I think River's reaction to that as well took me out, because he was literally just like, he had just looking at her, talked to her, then he looks at the floor, right? And he hears whoop. He's on fire, he looks to his side. He's like, what the fuck? And I was like, apt. Yeah. Because why couldn't she just run down the stairs?
Yeah.
He ate that.
Jack Lauder was
he
very
ate
funny
that.
this episode. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
obviously,
No, he killed
River
me.
is always having the worst day of his life. But so far this episode, he was really funny. It was like, even when he's like, when he's singing, like, it's a party, and like, I thought he was really funny in this episode.
He's got some great comedic timing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we've always had. Like the last series, he's doing so much fighting and running away. He doesn't really get to like quip much. Yeah. Whereas this one, he's like proper having a chance to maybe make some laughs as well.
Yeah.
I feel like this is him rebuilding this season. Like he's rebuilding himself because everything in his identity has been shattered.
If we know Slow Horses, River is always going to have the worst day possible, so it's not going to last long.
100.
Like we can expect it's not going to last. Yeah, recent dad. Congratulations to him, Jack Loudon.
Yeah.
With
shout out to my baby, Saoirse and Jack.
Recently married, recent
how
parents.
Pink I was to discover that they were together and with a child.
couple?
I said yes.
It's a super couple.
Yeah, I
super
love when
Celtic,
baddies get
super
together.
Celtic couple.
Okay, so I won't talk about Shirley in particular, but I have a way we're going to talk about her because, first of all, before we get to her in particular, we're going to do something fun. Anyone who's listened to me on any podcast knows I love to do a recurring bit. Some might call it a crutch, but that's their business. So we have 3 bits that we're going to do every episode. The first one is our lamb roast working title. Throw us ideas if you have better titles for this category. But is the episode's best lamb insult. Do you guys have any picks?
Yeah, I rewatched a bit earlier. This is a bit where Louisa's phoning Lamb to check if the park want them to help.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
well, and he's like, make a guess. And he's like, no.
Hold on. That's a pretty good lamb. That's a pretty good lamb impression.
And then there's the bit where she's like, it's supposed to be your last day. Make a paper airplane or something.
Yeah.
I was like, that's just great.
Yeah, I don't have a lamb impression like you, but he says, I said make an educated guess. That guess left school at 15 to get a job at an abattoir. And I was just like, sure, man. Sure, Jackson.
He's so insane, bro.
Oh, he's just... Gary Oldman just has the best time delivering these lines, doesn't he?
He
It does.
does.
This episode is kind of
Uh,
light
Mine's
on
not.
lamb insults, but like,
Yeah, it's very. That's what I was
yeah,
gonna say. It's like it
he's
was
not
hard
in
for me
this
to pick a
episode much.
lamb roast this episode because usually they jump out at you because he's just saying outlandish shit. So I think mine is actually lamb action of this episode that really
okay,
was
go
just like
ahead.
you're
Love
taking the
it.
piss. It
Yeah.
was when Catherine brought him the tea, right, and he was smoking. Can't remember verbatim what they were talking about, right? And he was coughing like as he does, very ugly and sickly. And she's like, "That's gonna kill you, you should put it out." And he puts it in the teacup as she walks away. I was like, yeah.
Well, he's a roast in a way, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
roasting her tea.
yeah,
No,
it's
he
kind
really
of a
was.
roast.
It's a roast.
Perfect. Yeah. Our next award is actually a very weirdly, coincidentally named award because, to be fair, I came up with the award before I watched the season. But it's the Louisa Award for You're Actually Too Good for This Place, which is meant to be for the person or rather the slow horse who actually did good spy work this episode. I guess since Louisa is not going to be here rest of the season, it will be like an award in her honor. I just thought it to be an award that she will win every episode, but I guess to be an award in her honor. Do you have a winner this episode? Because I do not have a winner for this episode.
I actually do, but
do
I
as
feel
well,
like, is relative. Not a lot of spy work going on this episode, so it's kind of tough to pick, right? But given that, I think it would have to be Shirley because she's the only one taking the threat against Toast seriously.
Yeah, it's Shirley for me as well.
Okay, so I agree with you guys, but I have on my notes maybe Shirley in the first half of the episode because Shirley, for me, wins our third award, which is
she does.
Slowest Horse.
Yeah.
The award is Slowest
I was
Horse.
thinking that.
Same.
I was thinking she is both the best slow horse and the worst in
And the
this
worst.
episode.
Same, yeah.
Or you could say Ho's the worst because he nearly gets run over and he's so
He was
oblivious
my
to everything
second
going on.
Well, look, we're in sync here.
I honestly
Ho was
think
my
Shirley had
second
to
choice.
take the cake for jumping over that balcony. I was like, mm-mm.
So here's
like, what's she thinking? It's like, I thought it was a knife.
It's like
they run straight to the bathroom to go do coke or hold coke, a metaphor. So, yeah.
So here's the thing. So just to be clear for anyone who's listening, our slowest horse is the worst or dumbest thing a slow horse does, or the worst or dumbest slow horse in the episode. For like 30 minutes of this episode, Shirley was going to win the Louisa Award, right? Despite like some glaring caveats, because you could tell that she has PTSD and everything. But let me just tell you something that she does in like the last 10 minutes of this episode. She jumps off the top floor in the club onto someone on the dance floor. At best, she dislocates his shoulder, but probably breaks his arm. She probably takes cocaine. She assaults the bouncer and gives him a concussion. She attacks a delivery bike rider and steals his bike, all within like 10 minutes of screen time. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, from when she jumped on the balcony, I was like, what are you doing? Go.
Like, that delivery driver, first of all, has lost his job. He's lost his bike. He maybe has a concussion as well. The bouncer got hit with, was that a fire hydrant? Like, I was just like...
I feel like it looked like a goddamn fire extinguisher.
I was like, that's a messy fire extinguisher.
Smacks him in the face, And
I was just like, Jesus Christ. What we, like, genuinely, I was like, she's doing good spy work. She's really taking this serious. Ho is my second choice for the slowest horse award because, like, bro, someone's trying to kill you and you don't care. Also, like, I'm sorry, look, I know you have a high self-importance and things like that, but like, this woman Claire doesn't want to sleep with you. Like, don't you think something is up? Like, when are you gonna like key in?
Like, when are you gonna wake up and be like, something ain't right here? Ain't no way I'm talking like this and this girl is dancing on me like this.
But yeah, so Shirley, Shirley's obviously going through PTSD and that is now seeping into her spy work. But the problem is that she is correct. Someone's obviously trying to kill her. But like every other thing just seems so out of place. Like, what do you guys want to say about Shirley?
That's it. Like, she's on the right track, definitely, but she obviously has not processed any of her trauma at all, and it's influencing everything she's doing. And even though she knows that it's doing that, because I think that bottle not being a knife made it glaringly obvious that, okay, I need some help here. Is Shirley gonna get that help? Nah. Me not think so. Is Shirley gonna do some coke at some point this season? Wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I actually don't know what will help Shirley, which is why I think it's very interesting that they finally paired her and River together. I don't know if it's going to be a situation of they both help each other out of this pit that they're feeling, because they don't mince words with each other. They don't do any of that. Like, they're not trying to do anything. But they both still have that sense of, like, you know, liking to get shit done or being listened to or proving that they were right about something. So I think their pairing may be quite beneficial to the both of them this season if they can get over themselves. But other than that, yeesh. I'm surprised she's still here, honestly. I didn't think she was going to make it back this season.
Chris?
No, I think I can't remember the actress's name now. Amy Fiona Edwards is just great in the
Yeah.
role. I had a lovely chat with her for the last season. She's such an angel.
Oh, nice.
But she's so sweet in real life, so it's quite funny that because Shirley's quite, you know, feisty. And I think she has a really good evolution across the books, like, and the whole PTSD is a recurring thing with her, and just her having like anger management
Does
problems.
Marcus die in the books?
He does, yeah.
The same way?
The same way, yeah.
Okay.
In terms of pairings, yeah, her and River is a good pairing. One of my JK's not really in this episode, is he?
I mean, he's in the episode the way he normally is, with a hood in the background.
Yeah, silent.
Literally,
but
yeah.
him and River is a pairing later in the series, and that's a terrific. That's one of my favorite pairings in the books and
I
in
really
the show.
like him.
So, yeah, he's really good. Yeah, I think Shirley's brilliantly written, and I think it's a really good translation of her arc. Yeah, it's a shame Catherine doesn't have more to do in this episode, rather than just. But I just love Standish as well.
Tea.
She's such
a
Saskia is great in the role.
If she is, like, if I'm being honest, she is kind of the one person who is taking this very seriously at first, and she's kind of personalized.
Yeah.
And obviously, she realizes,
like her going with Shirley and, you know, sending River, like, she's kind of.
And again, she's
pulling
doing
them together. She's like doing Lamb's job. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And she knows, and Lam's like, obviously, I take it seriously. I know it's happening, but I'm not going to give these guys like a reason to go out and to go out and be running around London. So,
literally, like, stop working.
Do you guys have anything we haven't touched on? Because I think a few things I'll touch on before we wrap up. But do you have anything we haven't touched on so far?
Claude. I love Claude so much.
So one of my final notes is Claude competent now? That was just my question.
See, that's the thing. Because there's a couple of points in this series and the last one where I'm like, is he as dumb as he look? And then I'm like, oh no, he actually kind of knows what he's doing.
I think this episode, like, he's kind of righteous anger against the other candidates, and even just like he's like when he talks about hiring more LGBTQ plus agents, he doesn't say that as like a token thing. He says that like something he really does believe in, and he says, and the way he's like he wants to shut it down so that I don't know, the way he talks this episode does seem kind of competent. So we'll see. My other thing is, go ahead.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Am I flight to flight? Yeah. Yes.
No, like genuinely.
Fuckability Phil.
Also, they introduced Devon in this episode.
How that pans out. So
that flight's number
point,
2.
I don't know what you're about to mention,
in the books, but they've changed to
Emma,
which doesn't
I just
bother
really
me,
love Emma. I just feel like I had to put it there, you know. Such a competent
she's a
babe.
good character.
Yes, yeah, flighty fly. Such a confident babe.
Something I really
Such
hate
a brilliant babe
on TV shows.
Like,
I understand why it happens. I've said this on podcasts before. I understand why it happens for story reasons, but I just really hate seeing it. Is when a character relapses. Chris, you can't talk here for the next 10 minutes. But Angel, this is just you and I. Like, is Standish going to relapse this season? Like, I don't like. The signs are pointing to it. I don't necessarily want it to happen, but like,
honestly,
it's looking quite. Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that she hasn't yet, surprising to me. She has enough reasons to, especially with her whole id being blown up recently as well. She does not work with nice people at all. Like, all the signs are pointing towards doing drugs, and yet she has not, right? Like, even this episode, when they made a point to mention that, you know, when she was like, she can't go into the club because there's alcohol and stuff, I'm like, that's not somebody who's, you know, recovery, because you can be around alcohol, just, you know, not that's not somebody, I get, you know, keeping yourself away from things that might, and, you know, trigger you. But I'm like, at this point, Standish, if this is still that much of a trigger for you, I worry because I'm like,
Even
are we
before-
backsliding? Because I feel like she
Yeah.
handles it so much better before, like
Yeah.
being around alcohol, etc. So I'm like, for her to make it a point to mention now, I'm like,
Even before then, when River is coming back with the shopping, he takes out the bottle and like the camera makes a point to show her glance at the bottle.
show.
Like, so I
Yeah.
do think this might be the season where she relapses. Another theory, Chris, please keep quiet. I think Mayor Jaffrey is involved in the plot. This is Nick Mohammed's character. I think he's involved in the mass shooting plot. I don't know how, or at least somebody in his team is involved. That's my theory for the season.
I'll have to wait on that one a little bit more. Maybe by episode 2, I'll have.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I'll have my concrete.
So I'm just gonna tell you guys quickly what was on Louisa's card. Just to let you know how incredible these characters are. So Shirley writes, "Good decision, slightly jealous." Roddy writes, "See ya, wouldn't want to be ya," but he signs it as Rod Dog. Sorry, yeah, Rod Dog. And then J.K. Cole writes, "Best." That's all he writes. He just writes "best."
That's it?
Signs it. That's it. And then he signs it J.K. Cole. And then it's just Lamb. Like, it's just Lamb. Like the signature Lamb. Which was probably written by Standish, if I'm being honest. Like,
Catherine?
it's just Lamb.
Yeah.
No notes, just Lamb. Oh, just incredible. I think we can end it there for this week. We'll be back for episode 2 next week.
I just want to mention that my least favorite scene this episode was seeing Lamb eat ramen. I think seeing Lamb eat is one of my least favorite things every episode that happens. But seeing him eat that ramen, I had to close my eyes because I love ramen, so I just had to put that away. Because I was just like, I can't detest
I
this
love him coming back for the prawn crackers though. That's like, just like me for real. I was like...
Oh my God, and it killed me when Shirley was leaving his office and she's like, door open or close. He's like, fuck off. They're such a lovely team.
They said there's going to be one fart this season, and it's a quote-unquote a story-based fart. So we're on fart watch, waiting for that fart to come through this season.
I think I've ever seen it. It's a cracker.
Okay, so I think we can end it there. We're back next week for episode 2. Guys, thank you. Love this first-time collaboration. Excited for this season of TV.
I want you guys to know I messaged Banky, I think, in the middle of the morning at some godforsaken hour after I just finished. I said, hey, if you guys are covering this new season, please let me come on. So I just want to say thank you to Popcorn for Dinner for having me here. Dreams come true, guys.
I mean, you did message at a lucky time because I was just setting up the schedule. So yeah. But okay, yes, we'll be back next week to talk about episode 2 of Slow Horses season 5. We're back. Join us next week with Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.